Adrenaline picked up the 2 broken pieces of the memory scroll that was holding his dear friend. Once, dear friend, of Sun Wukong. Him and his other 2 brotherling were about to leave to conquer the celestial realm, but Liena, she wasn't having it. Liena stepped forward to the free as she clenched her fist. Her ears went back a little, hoping she could try to get him to listen. Maybe reach to him, hopefully to change his mind.
Dad, please, listen to me. I know you don't want this. I know you don't want to do this. We can fix this. We can forget all this happened. We can save Wukong and fix the scroll. We can...
Liena tried to make Adrenaline listen, but he snapped his head around to look at her. He growled under his breath.
Save it! You know well as I do that this needs to be done, Liena. But I didn't want this to happen. Now, if you excuse us.
As this was all happening, Pigsy noticed how Liena was acting. He wanted to comfort her as best as he could, so he gently touched her shoulder with his hand.
Liena, let's just let it go. He isn't going to listen to you.
Pigsy said softly and calmly as he could, as Leona's ears went down fully on the back of her head. She lowered her tail as tears started to form in her eyes. She stayed silent for a moment as she clenched her clothing, and then she just snapped.
Then go on! Leave Azure like you always do!
Liena snapped at him, and then Azure stopped dead in his tracks. But before he could turn around or even say anything, she continued yelling at him. She was furious.
You know you left me that day! That day when you left with the others to kill the Jade Emperor! You left my mother and me alone, and you just only cared about what you and the others wanted!
Liena shouted as hot tears poured down her face. Azure still had his back turned. He felt his eyes grow wide from what she was saying. She knew about him leaving? All about what was going on? She was only a kid, a child. She shouldn't have known about this, right?
So go on! Leave! I don't care! You just used me and my friends like the others. You never cared or loved me, or my mother. So do what you want. You'll end up dying alone, and that's good for you.
She tried to stop, but she couldn't. She was upset and angry. How could you not be? Her father was hurting people, using them just to get what he wanted. She wasn't done yet.
I hope that your plans go down. Because I don't want to know that my father never loved me or my mother!
Liena yelled at Azure as she swung her arm to the side. She was clearly upset and hurt as she sobbed through her words. She hated this more than anyone. Azure felt tears welling up in his eyes as he kept his back turned. He sighed deeply as he just stayed silent as the Brotherhood left to take over the celestial realm. After a while, MK flew off. He was hurt by this as well. He didn't know what to do, or who he was or anything. Liena watched as tears poured down her face as the others looked upset, worried, concerned about all this going on. Lily? May said softly. She gently touched her back, but Liena flinched a little, but Liena didn't move away from May. I'm so sorry, Liena. May said as Liena moved away a little, as she gripped her arms a little bit as she sobbed silently, as she backed up from the others.
I'm so sorry. I thought we could trust him.
Liena was shaking and sniffling as the others looked at her. They were worried about her. They were worried about everything that was going on.
Liena, it's okay. It wasn't your fault. You didn't know.
Sandy said softly as he looked at her, but she kept backing up and shaking her head as more tears poured down her face.
I need to go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys.
Liena quickly turned around and ran off as quickly as she could, while May and the others tried to stop her. But she was too quick for them to catch her. She was gone, out of their sight.